Today is day 2 of Blokesworld in Tokyo, and being a Saturday, we've decided to come to the suburb of Harajuku. A great suburb where everyone gets dressed up. It's just off Yoyogi Park, so we'll be heading in there. And a bit later on, we're going to the sumo wrestling. So we've got a massive day. And we didn't know what street to take, so we decided to take a shitter street, the walking street. Let's go explore Harajuku. Oh, look at the Chewbacca doll. How awesome tea.
Breakfast of Champions.
Hello, welcome to Harajuku. You're watching Blokesworld.
Awesome, Logie.
Got it.
Yeah, got it. Okay, viewers, right now we're going to find out the who's who of Tokyo. Come on, this is going to be a real hoot. Well, it's that time of the morning where we want a coffee, and we've decided to come to a cafe with a bit of a difference, where they give you a coffee, an oven mitt, and an owl. Welcome to the Owl Cafe. Gold! What's his name? This is wasabi. These owls were absolutely awesome. And when you're patting an owl, you've got to put your hand right in front of his eyes so he sees what you're about to do. All right, here we are. Welcome to Soft Drink Lotto. We're here at one of the 5.5 million vending machines in this country, and we're about to get a drink. And we don't know what we're ordering. What do you want?
I'll get the white looking one.
Which one? That one there?
The one next to it.
That one?
The refreshing one, yep. Made from clear water.
Sounds like you.
I like my water clear.
All right, I'm going to go the one next to it with the fist holding the can. Oh, no. I'll go this pink one.
Kampai.
Kampai. I'll go my pink one.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good one. That's yours.
Mine's weird, really weird. Really, have a taste of that.
That's weird.
It makes Red Bull taste like water, doesn't it?
Oh, man.
Is that just, I think that's, they tell you that a can of Coke's got how many teaspoons of sugar? I reckon this has got like about 40. But something's stopping it from pouring out.
I think it's actually alcoholic. There we go, how's that? Even harsher.
I'll have a try of that now. Have a big hit of that now. Can you taste that? There's like jelly in it.
It's got bits in it. Oh, man.
Can we show that?
Oh, it's congealed.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, don't tip. Oh,
No.
that's what it tasted like.
Goodness.
Oh, man, it's like eating a watermelon jellyfish.
Right next to Harajuku is the fantastic Yoyogi Park, and look, check out the barrels of sake wrapped in straw. I reckon on our first night in Alley would have drunk at least 2 rows of that. The great thing I love about Tokyo is that everyone's out walking. The young, the old, the elderly, they're all out walking and stretching. That's probably why they've got such a great lifespan here. I mean, males live to 79, females live to the age of 86. So much so that in 1963, the government decided to give out silver sake cups for people who've just turned 100. And back in 1963, they gave out 153 cups. Last year, they gave out 29,357 cups for people who had turned 100. That is just absolutely awesome. Anyway, we'll continue our walk. Hope you're enjoying Tokyo. I thought I'd give you a bit of a Japanese edumacation. Here are some great facts I love about this country. 93% of adoptions in Japan are of adults. Strange? Well, not if you want to keep the business in your family name. And that's what they do. They'll go and adopt a fully grown adult into the family so the business will stay in the family name. As well as at schools in Japan, there are no janitors. The kids clean the school. You have a choice. On a Saturday, you can either play sport or you clean the school. How awesome is that? And my favourite fact is, on the third Saturday in September, they have Respect for the Elderly Day, where everyone respects old people. And even strangely enough, cigarette companies meet at train stations and give out free cigarettes to the old people. Huh? Well, I hope you're enjoying the show, viewers. We just had an awesome lunch of gyoza, our favourite Japanese dish. We went to a special little restaurant. It's world famous. We got a seat. How good was it, Camera 3?
Oh, it was awesome.
It was awesome. Anyway, right now, massive treat for you. We organised this trip and we got some tickets, and they're really hard to get these tickets. But right now, you're going to a commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to be at the Sumo Wrestling. Ripping. See you after this.
Got to join a queue to get into the station.
Man, if this is the queue to get on the train, how much room is going to be on the train?
I don't know. I'm glad I'm above average height, bro.
One of the great things I love about Tokyo is that we never lose each other, because still amongst 500 people I can still see you from a kilometre away.
That's right.
Accidental racism.
So we're going on the green line for 2 stops, then we transfer to a slightly lighter shade of green for another 11 stops. Easy. Hey.
Righto viewers, how exciting. We've just arrived at Raguku Station. That's right, we've come to check out the sumo wrestling. It only happens twice a year and it's pretty hard to get tickets. You've got to get in early, and I can safely say this is the most organised we've ever been. And across the road there's the big stadium where they hold the sumo wrestling. Check it out. It looks like a massive Pizza Hut. It's on now. Well, we finally made it to the sumo wrestling, and we were so excited.
It's sumo time!
This was definitely one of the highlights of our trip to Tokyo. And on our arrival, we got to see a great treat. We got to see how many sumos can you fit into a Toyota Crown. Well, what happens when you put 4 sumo wrestlers into a Crown? You get a lowrider. Check out the suspension. This would have been a bad day to be an Uber driver, picking up 4 sumos. Sumo wrestlers in Japan are considered like gods. I couldn't believe the amount of people lining up to meet them, and the amount of babies they kissed. Apparently, if a sumo kisses your baby, then your kid's got it made. As intimidating as they look, and the sheer size of them when you stand next to them, they're just big, lovable blokes. All of them were really welcoming to Camera 3 and myself, having photos taken, meeting the people. It was absolutely fantastic. The Japanese Sumo Association governs the sport, and not only that, but governs the lives of the sumos. For example, they must always wear traditional clothing in public. They must grow their hair long. And many years ago, a famous sumo wrestler was injured in a car accident, and since then, all sumos are banned from driving a car. And it wasn't just the sumos that were massive. Check out the size of the beer cans in Japan. They were huge. Well, speaking of beers, it was my turn to go buy the next round, which is exactly what I did. Grabbed an extra couple of cans, and I bought a round of beers for the family that was sitting next to us. As the dad was explaining to me the rules and who was the big names in the sport. An absolute legend. The George Clooney of Japan right here. I bought them all beers, and he just disappeared and came back and bought us this. It's like a present. I have no idea what he's bought us. Shall we open it up?
Yeah.
All right, cool. They were sumo cookies, and each cookie had an individual sumo painted on the cookie. I mean, they were like pieces of art. We didn't even want to eat them until we discovered we were on the plane on the way home and customs were going to take them off us. So we had sumo biscuits on the plane. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Number one. Number one. Number one. And here are just some of the things I learned from our friendly Japanese neighbours. The referee points his war fan, known as a gumbai, in the direction of the winner. In sumo wrestling, the referee's call is not final. Around the ring sits 5 judges, known as the shimpan, and they may stand up at any time and overturn the call of the referee. If the referee and the judges cannot come to an agreement, then the fight starts from the beginning. Sumo wrestling is the perfect sport if you've got ADD, because every bout goes less than a minute. It's excellent. If you want to check out the sumo wrestling, I cannot stress to you enough that you have to get in early and book your tickets. We bought our tickets about 4 days after they went on sale, and they were nearly sold out. We got our tickets right up at the top, and our seats turned out to be fantastic, as we could see the full workings of a sumo bout. Not just what's happening in the ring, but all the action that's happening on the floor, around the ring. Beer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beer over there.
世界デビューしちゃう。世界デビューだ。
I absolutely love Japan. Sport, beer, great blokes. And this is how funny the Japanese are. They will not sell scalping tickets to anyone who isn't Japanese.
Accidental racism.
Back to the fight. And I know what you're thinking. Sure, there's scalpers. Yeah, there were scalpers outside, and we met some Aussies who were trying to buy tickets. And the Japanese wouldn't sell tickets to Westerners. Mainly because sumo means so much to the Japanese people. They knew that if they just waited a second, there'd be a Japanese family that had been dying to see a sumo wrestling fight. So get in early. You gotta get your sumo tickets in early. The Japanese Sumo Wrestling Championships are only held 3 times a year, in January, May and September.
and each competition runs for 15 days. The Sekatoris have one match per day, whereas the Rikishis have one match every 2 days. The Sumo, who wins the most matches over the 15 days, is announced the winner of the tournament. Sumo wrestlers that come from the same stable will never fight each other. Even if they're drawn, they'll redraw. Same with brothers. Brothers will never fight each other, even if they're from different stables. The only exception to the brother rule is they can face each other only in a championship decider bout.
Awesome. Made a new mate here. We haven't understood a word. Hello. Hello. Our new mate, he just gave us some Japanese jerky. Absolutely awesome. Been buying us beers, telling us who to cheer for. Japanese people, how awesome are they?
Yeah, we're having a great time here. Got to come here for the sumo.
This is bucket list moment.
Hey viewers, and welcome to the Sumo Championships right here in Tokyo. We're having a fantastic time and we're here with our Japanese friends. Say hello.
Blokesworld! Japanese Oyakata!
A sumo bout doesn't start until both wrestlers have placed their hands on the ground at the same time. A bout can end in 3 ways. 1, the opponent is thrown out of the ring. 2, if any part of the opponent's body, besides their feet, touch the ground, they're out. And finally, if their mawashi, i.e. their loincloth, comes off, they're automatically disqualified. And let's face it, no one's paying good money to see that. I mean, the therapy would cost more than the cost of your holiday.
I think they must be betting on this.
Yeah.
Is it? Now I understand it. It's all making sense.
The life of a sumo wrestler, it's not all glamorous. Their average life expectancy is between 60 and 65 years old, which is 10 years under the average Japanese person. Their day consists of getting up every morning extremely early and training all morning, and then having a massive lunch, and then drinking about 5 to 6 bottles of beer and sleeping all afternoon. Their entire diet and lifestyle is about attaining body mass. Drinking beer, going to sleep in the afternoon. Sounds more Australian than Japanese.
Apparently the guy in the black looked at the guy in the blue's girlfriend last night at the pub, and now it's on like Donkey Kong. Hang on, I need to show my sponsors. Yeah. Alright, this guy's sponsored by...
What's that drink you had?
Oh, he's sponsored by Wellcard. He's also sponsored by Duty Free Narita Airport, some Japanese burger joint, and Narita Airlines.
Another interesting aspect of sumo wrestling is the referees. They're known as gyojis, and they entered the sport at around about the age of 16, like a sumo wrestler would, and they stay in the sport until the day that they retire. Their robes and their get-up signify their ranking amongst other judges. These guys are rock stars as well. The gyoji, or the judge, also sits there as he's watching the fight and holds onto a small blade. It's called a tanto. It's about 12 inches in length. And he holds this as a symbol to prove that he is prepared to take his own life and disembowel himself if he makes a bad decision, just to prove how serious this sport is and how serious he's taken it. I mean, that's pretty full on, isn't it? But cool.
Tumimaka Southwell! Tumimaka Southwell takes out a great match there.
Look at that. Manly, that's how men sleep. All right, I'm cut. Let's do some interviews. Well, we're not a small crew when we come to Japan. We've got our other camera. We've got camera 4 up there, camera 3 here. How you going, champion? We're having an absolutely fantastic time here. I belong in Japan. You put on weight and you become a chick magnet. It's awesome. Thank you so much. Fantastic day. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. These guys are such chick magnets. You guys love him, don't you?
Yes.
Very excited. Fantastic. Do yourself a favour. Get on an airplane. Come to Japan.